Hi, hello, welcome back to the Inside Track. My name is Anna Prop, and today we are going to be talking about something that was so influential in my writing in terms of overcoming certain fears or overcoming certain anxieties, and let's just get right into it. So first and foremost, I'd love to talk about sort of some of the most, I hate to say traumatizing aspects of my writing career, but some of the things that were just so crazy scary, and then how I kind of dealt with them and what it meant for my writing going forward. So my first fall ever in my entire horseback riding career was off of an Arabian horse named Hamilton. We also called him Hammy in the barn. And I was first learning how to jump. It was over just a little cross rail with ice blocks. And I was so excited, and long story short, he left long. I didn't know he was going to leave long, and because I wasn't super strong in my 2-point yet, I basically got left behind super bad, and I ended up getting stuck behind the saddle. Like, my butt was riding behind the saddle right on his back, on his kidneys, like almost on his butt almost. And for the next 3 to 5 strides after the landing, I just remember like getting rammed in the thighs over and over and over again with every step of the way, and trying my hardest to like pull myself up and over the cantle? What? Oh my god, what is the back of the saddle called? Oh my god, I need to go back to pony camp. English. Yeah, the cantle. I did it. I got it right. Gold star for me. I got stuck behind the cantle, and the cantle just kept like, oh my god, it was so painful. And anyways, my first fall wasn't really me falling. I genuinely thought to myself, I'm just gonna bail, because like, is the ground gonna be any more painful than me getting jammed in the thighs over and over again with this hard ass saddle? No. So I bailed and I fell, and it really wasn't that bad of a fall, especially since I was aware and conscious of that decision, you know? So yeah, that was my first ever fall. Surprisingly not painful from the fall itself, painful because I've got myself in a very tricky situation. The first really moment of, I guess, a bad situation that I was put in that caused me a lot of stress and anxiety for a lot of months to years after the fact that I was put in that horrible situation was I was on my first lease horse. Her name was Echo. She was this beautiful tricolor paint pony. I loved her so bad. I wanted to buy her so bad. She was naughty though. She pulled some tricks. She was probably like 5 or 6 at the time when I was riding her. She was known as one of the babies at the barn that we were at because it was her alongside of, I think, like 4 or 5 other youngsters that were born around the same time and also born from the same stallion, and even from the same mare as well. They were all fabulous horses. Ended up being fabulous horses once they got past their naughtiness. But anyways, I was riding her. We were in a lesson, and I don't remember what we were working on, but we were standing in the middle and we were watching the other riders do their thing. That's kind of part of a group lesson, right? And I just remember her reaching down, and I was like, oh, she's gonna go scratch her leg. Like, that's fine. I'll let her do that. She's probably itchy. It's the summer. It's hot. Totally no big deal. She went to go put her nose in the dirt, and sooner rather than later, I realized that she has buckled her knees and is on the ground and is trying to roll. And I was freaking out. My how my brain works in traumatic situations is that it doesn't. Like, when things go wrong, I am like a deer in the headlights. Like, I do not think properly. So when that happened, I literally did not think to step off. I did not think to try and pull her up before it happened. I did not think whatsoever. So I almost got stuck underneath her while she went to go roll. Luckily, I kind of, instead of getting like my foot trapped, I kind of rolled off of her instead of stepping off of her. My body just decides to stop, drop, and roll. There we go. That's the phrase. That's the saying. And yeah, that, even though again the fall itself didn't hurt a lot, the thought of my horse just dropping like that terrified me. So for the next few months to almost a few years, every single time a horse went down to either scratch their nose or eat some grass, I was so nervous that horse was going to decide to just buckle their knees and drop and roll again. And it was something that I had to really work on. Just, if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, then the worst thing that can happen is my horse just itches its nose or eats up some blades of grass. So the next traumatic thing that I would kind of touch on is what I experienced when I was working with a horse in college. This horse was beautiful. He was this black, I believe, Oldenburg gelding. I think he was like 8 or 9 at the time. And he had a late start to getting started under saddle, and therefore a late start to getting started over fences. And there was a younger girl, she's probably like 3 years younger than me. She had bought him in the hopes of him becoming her 3-foot 3.336 mount, because she had a very successful riding career with her thoroughbred at the 2.6, 2.9, and 3-foot level. Unfortunately, the horse kind of like capped at 3 foot. They would really be pushing it at 3.3, so they decided to look at a warm blood that would put her on this track of hopefully reaching her goals. So they bought this horse, and I really don't know why I was put on this horse so much. Maybe it's because I was just at home and I was at the barn, in the barn, around the horses a lot, and he was one that always just kind of needed a little hack, a little trail ride, a little jump school here and there, and I was always, of course, up to it. I always loved riding any horse that I could. But he was one of the first horses that really made me kind of realize what I mentally can handle and what I mentally cannot. I feel like as riders, whether you're an amateur rider or a professional rider, there are certain situations with horses where if you are put in that situation, it's like an immediate no-no. I've known a lot of professional horse trainers that think like bolting is the worst thing in the world, that rearers are the worst thing in the world, and they hate those like behaviors so bad that they will do anything and everything to make sure that those type of horses and those type of behavioral problems are never in their barn, because it just scares them that bad. Now, with this horse, going back to Cal, he was, I really don't want to say stupid, but he was stupid. He would act like every single day was 100% new day. Like, it didn't matter if we trotted over the red and white poles yesterday. It didn't matter if we crossed the bridge last week. It didn't matter if we went out on the green grass 2 days ago. Every single situation, whether he had seen it before or not, was completely new to him. Like, and there was nothing that was going to change his mind. With that being said, he was also very spooky. He was very flighty. He had zero to no confidence at all. I felt really bad for this horse. Going into riding him, his biggest issue was jumping, because jumping is a difficult thing. And also, he was there for jumping purposes. He was hopefully going to be a three ring horse, mainly equitation, but a 3-ring horse. And when you get a horse that has this jumping issue or this confidence issue in jumping, it can be really difficult. And I was trying my best to ride him through it, both ride him through it with my own like intuition and my own intentions, but also ride him through it with the help of my trainers. And every single jump, like 9 out of 10 jumps that he would jump that day, was a dead stop. And it was a bad stop. It was a naughty stop. He'd be cantering, nice full canter all the way up to the jump, have no like thought in his brain that he's even scared of whatever is in front of him, and then all of a sudden at the very last second, slam the brakes, like could have been a freaking rainer at AQHA World Show, and just would almost toss me into these jumps every single time. And me being me, I don't really mind a horse that stops, as long as they eventually get over that fear, and as long as those dirty stops aren't as dirty every single time. I can handle a few dirty stops every now and again, but when the dirty stop happens at every single jump, it really ruins your confidence. And not only that, but say I actually do get him over that fence, the likelihood of me not being able to stay with him because I am thinking that he's just not going to go over the fence, and then ultimately I'm going to yank him in the mouth on accident, or land too early, or get left behind on accident. Like I was damned if I did, damned if I didn't, because I was thinking, oh, he's going to stop, or, oh, if he goes over it, then I'm going to not be able to get out of his way in time, and I'm going to make it a horrible experience for him. That entire process really, really shattered my confidence. And it was all because he was such a dirty stopper. And it was so hard. Like, I cry a lot. I'm very emotional. If I fall off, doesn't matter if it's like the easiest fall in the world. There's only been one fall where I fell off like laughing. Every single fall I've ever had, I've fallen off and I've bawled my eyes out because I'm a little rat. Anywho, when it comes to expressing or just telling my trainers, I don't feel comfortable doing this, I don't want to be on this horse anymore, that took so much of me, because I am not one to quit. I hate quitting. I am not one to say no to riding a horse, even if that horse terrifies me to no belief. But this horse and his ability to stop, and my trainers wants to fix that stopping, it really, really affected my confidence. And it was really, but the good thing about it was that it only affected my confidence on him. It didn't affect my confidence on any other horse. On any other horse, if I was riding a spooky horse or a calm horse, relaxed horse, been there, done that horse, I was always very good at still riding forward and through the corner and stuff like that. It was only on him where I was just became this shell of a person, because he was just such a dirty stopper, and it really messed with me. Then I'm going to talk about probably the worst fall I've ever had. Knock on wood that's like the worst and will never ever be anything worse. It was in college, and I was on this horse. I believe his name was Archie, and I believe that Alexandra Duquette now owns him. He may unfortunately have passed away. I do not know. Anyway, he was at SCAD. That's where I went to college. And I was a freshman in college, and he was coming back from some sort of stall rest. I wasn't entirely sure what he was recovering from, or if it even was stall rest, to be honest, because we had just come back from, I think it was summer break. Anyway, I was put on him, and I was told that this was going to be his first ride in, like, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks. But because he's kind of like an older horse, that I shouldn't have an issue. And I was like, okay, no problem. Like, we're just flatting today. What's the worst that's going to happen? That was not the good thing to say. That was not, in fact, a right thing to say, because karma bit my butt. So I get him ready, tack him up, bring him out to the outdoor arena where we're having our flat lesson for that morning. And he seems normal. He seems fine. Not looky, not spooky. So I get on him. I do up my girth, check my stirrup length, do all those things that you need to do in order to have a good ride. And then we start warming up. We do our walk, our trot, both directions. And then when it comes to picking up the canter, he pulls one of the largest bucks that I've ever sat. Like, those bucks that like start with a bronc and then just go like absolutely 9 feet, 12 feet in the air to the side too. It was one of those. So I fell off, and I hit my head pretty hard. But I decided to get back on. My coach was like, you know what, like, it's fine, like, try to ride it out next time. Like, I think that's just like a one and done for him. Like, maybe we can go lunge him, but I think he'll be fine. Because again, he's an older guy. He doesn't have much in him. Like, it's going to be okay. Just get back on and we'll try again. So I get back on and I'm a little bit more nervous now because that was a little, again, I'm emotional. Whenever I fall off, I cry every single time. So the nerves are making me like literally shaking my boots. So I decide to just walk him, stretch him a little bit, stretch myself, take deep breaths, and try to go back to it. So we pick up a trot, seems fine, seems normal, a little bit more forward than like 10 minutes ago, but fine, whatever. He's probably a little anxious because I'm a little anxious, you know. Then we go to pick up the canter again, and what do you know? Another buck 12 feet in the air. So I fall again. So that's 2 falls where I hit my head very, very hard on this very hard arena footing within 5 minutes. And now the reason why the arena footing was so hard is because it had rained, downpoured that morning, and they didn't get the chance to, I think, drag it yet. So it was like kind of compacted from the rain. And I hit my head so hard on this arena footing that my best friend on the opposite end of the arena, this is like a 250 by 120 arena, she heard my head clap on the ground. That's how hard I fell. And my trainer was like, you know what, like, we could lunge him, but because you fell off like 2 times in a row, like within 10 minutes, why don't you sit this one out? I'll have the barn manager come and grab him, and he can like deal with him, and you can just sit down and take a breather and make sure you don't have any sort of severe concussion symptoms. Now, me being me, because I'm competitive as fuck, I knew that there was a horse show coming up within the next week or 2. And with that in the back of my mind, I told myself, even if I have concussion symptoms, I'm not going to be honest about it because I want to compete at that horse show and nothing's going to stop me. Bad idea. Don't do that. That's a horrible fucking idea. As I was sitting there and thinking about that, I literally, my vision started to go. Like, it started on this side and it was like a black, like fuzzy ball. And then it started slowly covering this eye until it was like just like completely black. And then it started moving over to this side. And then this eye went completely black. And then it like, that lasted for like 5 to 10 minutes as it transferred from my right eye to my left eye. And I never got checked out. And for the weeks after that incident, there would be moments where I'd be under severe stress, college student, shocker. And if I was under severe stress, my vision would go again. Same thing. Start on this eye, transfer to this eye, and it would last between 5 to 10 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour. Scary stuff. I did, again, only wanted to ride, and I was not going to be honest with anyone about what I was dealing with because I was so scared that I was going to have to take a big break from riding or stop riding altogether because my family is very protective of me and my health and making sure that I'm safe, right? But I told my boyfriend, who's actually now my husband, and he told me, Anna, if you don't tell your parents and if we do not go get this checked out, then I'm going to do it for you. And the thought of, my boyfriend and I were dating for like 3 months at that point. But the thought of him contacting my parents, who he's probably spoken all of 2 sentences to, scared the shit out of me. It scared me, okay? So I decided to finally tell my parents, and they go crazy. They get, oh my God, Anna, what's going on? This could be really, really bad. This could affect you for the rest of your life. It still is affecting me. So they were right on that. But we ended up going to Stanford Medical, and they did a MRI or a CAT scan, one or the other, and they didn't find anything, unfortunately. but I still continually have really, really bad vision problems whenever I'm in direct sunlight, whenever I'm on the computer too much, or whenever I'm in or under severe stress. And I don't recommend it. So that whole process, that worst fall of my career scared me pretty bad, not gonna lie. It scared me very, very bad. But I eventually, with time, got over it. I ended up being a lot more mindful of just really making sure that as I'm tacking up a horse or getting a horse ready, grooming them, taking care of them, I'm really aware of any sort of body language that they might be showing me, whether they're uncomfortable, whether they're especially energetic that day, just really taking the extra precaution and making sure that the horse that I'm riding that day does not, or hopefully not, do anything silly loody toonies, right? Okay. Let's get to the core of what I would love to talk about today. Now let's get to the core of what I want to talk about today, and that is basically a phrase that I heard that truly changed how I view confidence issues in the saddle. And it has changed my riding, it has changed my students' riding, it has truly been so influential in making sure that I keep a positive and confident mindset while trying to ride a horse. I don't know if anyone has seen We Bought a Zoo. I don't know when it was made. Let's quickly Google it. Bought a Zoo. It's with that one attractive actor. I'm horrible with names. Matt Damon. And Scarlett Johansson and Elle Fanning and all those cute kids. When was it made? Hello? It was made in 2011, and it's basically about this family that bought a zoo. Because why not, right? And this family, unfortunately, their mom had passed away, I think, from cancer. And this zoo has slowly healed them, and the dad especially. The dad used to be so full of light. I believe he was a journalist, and he used to tell all these amazing stories, and ever since his wife died, he stopped telling stories. And I hate to spoil it. Go watch it. It's been like 14 years. Just go fucking watch it. These kids, at the end of the movie, ask him, like, how did you and mom meet? Like, I want to hear the story. And he finally tells them. And they go to this cafe, and he says that he sees the most beautiful girl in the window, and he stops dead in his tracks, and he says, I need to meet her. I need to do something about this. But he's not the type of guy to do that. He's not the type of guy to do that at all. So he tells himself 20 seconds of insane courage. That's all it takes. 20 seconds. That 20-second rule has changed my riding to no belief, and it's changed my students' riding as well. Basically, I tell them, count to 3. 3, 2, 1, go. And once that timer starts, you get 20 seconds of 100% insane courage. And for 20 seconds, whether you're approaching a large oxer at the end of the arena, or galloping to a bigger cross-country fence, or maybe you're trying to work on a scary transition, say you're just learning how to canter, right? Trying to really sit the trot, engage in your seat, engage in your leg, engage in your core, push through that kind of bout of discomfort and into a more forward canter. That entire process is scary, right? And the canter afterwards is also very, very scary. So if you give yourself 20 seconds to accomplish that transition, trotting, sitting the trot, picking up the canter and cantering afterwards, those 20 seconds can truly make or break your ride. And that is something that I've always held so dear in my heart, and what I've also really, really, really pushed onto my students, and it's really, really helped them in their confidence in the saddle. So if you're ever struggling with any sort of confidence issues in the saddle, I know it sounds kind of like a little bit silly, and maybe you've heard this tip or a time or two, but really do give yourself a countdown: 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds of insane courage. And then once you do that, once you accomplish that, even if it's half-assed, even if you just do it with your eyes shut, you're done. Once you do it, you get to go home that day feeling on top of the world, right? That is what helps riders get to the next. That is what helps riders get to the next step of their riding. And if you do this and you actually feel a lot more confident in the saddle and you feel better in the saddle after a horrible ride or a horrible past experience, let me know in the comments. I'd be so happy to hear if this helped or didn't help. Either or. With all that being said, I've almost been talking for a half an hour now, and I don't want this video to completely drag on. But if you did like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below. It really helps me out. Remember, I'm trying super hard to make this YouTube content stuff work out for me. I have a big goal in the next 2.5 years to hopefully buy back my horse Misty from childhood and return her onto my own property, hopefully, or a property up in our forever home. That is a big goal and dream of mine, and it'd mean the world to me if you help me do that through helping me monetize my stuff on YouTube. So thank you, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!